What up, familia? It's your favorite Puerto Rican Brooklyn Philly here. And I just wanted to just see what messages would reveal themselves from Spirit today. Um, and I'm not going to lie, I had a question in mind. I don't know, I don't want to share it, not because I'm trying to hide anything, but I don't want to make the reading about me. I really want to leave it open-ended enough so that it can touch whoever it needs to touch and resonate with those who needs to hear this message at this time. It is currently Sunday, the day before Labor Day. I don't know, now I'm thinking of the holiday Labor Day, right? And its significance, why we celebrate Labor Day. I'm going to be honest, the word labor rubs me the wrong way right now. I'm not feeling it. I really am trying to and have been trying to embrace this spirit of receptivity, of less doing and more receiving. I had struggled with that. So, yeah, labor is not, I'm not feeling it right now. I'm feeling the fact that we're off for Labor Day. But just interestingly enough, I just heard child labor act, the Child Labor Act, and things that, yeah, where is that coming from? Now I'm hearing the Social Security Act, Franklin Roosevelt. Yeah, interesting. I'm trying to kind of just see if there's any other intuitive messages coming through. The song, I think, is Kem. Yeah. Love Calls. Nowhere to Hide stood out by the lyrics. Love calls your name, right? The first card to come out from the She Knows Tarot is called the Dream Weaver. 1 and 4 is 5, something about some change being significant. I don't know, I heard Mr. Sandman, send me your dreams, something like that. I don't know. But the fact that this person is like rocked, right? To this point that they feel safe, secure enough to go into such a deep slumber. I find it interesting that this lamb is also fast asleep. Intrigued by all of the animals. We have a frog, we have a cat, and we have a bird, right? The cat for me reminds me of the high priestess, intuition being on fleek. The bird, right? A sense of, for me, it always represents like a sense of communication, angels, ancestors. And the frog spirit, interestingly enough, I just heard koki, koki. But I'm biased. I think I'm thinking of my cultural, my ethnic background, rather, being of Puerto Rican ethnicity. And on our island, the koki being a rare, sound, an animal that is inhabited on the island. Interestingly enough, people have tried to bring the koki from the island over to the States, and they die every time. It cannot live unless it's in its habitat, I'm hearing. Which is interesting because I said 5 is change. So there's something to that. And it's very interesting that I find that the frog is the only one that is staring the Dreamweaver like face to face in his eye, right? And in this cup, right? So I'm not sure. When I clarified the Dreamweaver, I got the Queen of Pentacles in all her glory, right? Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, fire energy. Oh no, I am sorry. That is interesting. Why did I see her as the Queen of Wands? She is definitely the Queen of Pentacles. So earth energy. Yeah, I just heard Taurus, right? Interesting. I don't know, for some reason this reading feels very disjointed. I feel like I can't get it together. I can't grasp it. But I find it interesting that it's clarifying this Dreamweaver card. And she too has her eyes closed as if she's in deep meditation or sleep or slumber, right? But she's sitting up. Pentacles reflecting security, right? So there's a deep sense of security, right? And it's interesting because this morning I woke up to the movie Dumbo, the actual Disney back in the day original Dumbo, with all its issues of race implicit in it. However, nevertheless, the message is what I was told to concentrate on, which was that something that started off as his downfall, the very thing, downfall, the very thing that set to, I'm hearing, destroy him, outcast him, right? Caused them great pain initially, right? Separation from his mother and things of that nature. Became his glory, right? His ears were both his blessing and his cursing, his blessing almost, right? So I just heard the latter will be greater than the former, right? Because for Dumbo it was, right? And then interestingly enough, the movie that followed up after that was Cinderella, right? And we get most of us in the US know the plot or the theme of Cinderella. She too was abused and victimized and outcast and ridiculed and mocked, but she held on to her love and her gentleness and her beliefs and dreams and wishes coming true. And again, her latter was greater than her former. And then the last one that I walked away on, partially watching, was Sing, the first movie where Mr. Moon, right, had a dream to turn that theater into something, right, for his father's sake, in honor of his father and himself. And of course, initially it was catastrophic, but out of that rubble, interestingly enough, I'm hearing came such stability, right, such growth. So in all three movies this morning, there was this theme or this thread that Spirit clearly was trying to get across regarding not giving up, believing in the impossible, holding fast to dreams, believing that wishes can and do come true, that although it may not look like it, and although that the situation or your start may have been rocky, that it will not end the way that it began, right? And then there's really something interesting about Dreamweaver. So I said about holding fast to these dreams, because they will be your stability, right? The Queen of Pentacles, she's sitting there lovely, eyes closed, and she ain't worried about a ting. I heard about a ting. She's not worried about anything. I don't know where that's coming from, but as you can see, she looks regal, royal, gorgeous, flexing. I heard, very comfortable, comfortably sitting poised and elegant, understanding that she has everything she needs. And it's almost, as you can see, like a little smirk. There's almost a sense of like, I want to say pride, right? Like self-admiration, yeah, like, I did this, you know what I mean? In a good way, right? Not in an egoistic way. And I love the way that she's sitting in this, nature background, right? Interestingly enough, usually we see her sitting on like this hard throne, or like this very, I don't know, I heard archaic, traditional, but her, she's like in the middle of the forest somewhere, right? or definitely amongst some, you know, parks or greenery, or which really calls to me, right? And again, I'm hearing, so stability and abundance can look very different to everybody, right? For some, it may be that castle. For some, it may be that mansion. And for some, it may be something like this, more green environment, right? Yeah, like by a lake or a lake house, right? You know, I don't know. My ideal, again, not trying to make it about me, but would always think of it being a lake on one side and a beach on the other side, right? Like where I could have the best of both worlds, see both views, right? Interestingly enough, that alarm on the car went off just now. And I heard, ring the alarm. I'll be damned before I let another chick on your arm. Where that came from, I'm not sure. Especially why that would come out here, because again, she looks so unbothered. This Queen of Pentacles definitely is in her stability, right? She know who she is. She feels confident. She understands. It's almost like she understands her safety and security was hard fought and hers, yet therefore she doesn't have to worry about losing it. It's almost like I'm hearing no one gave it to her, so no one can take it away from her, right? That's beautiful. Very beautiful. Then the second card to come out. Sorry, I had put these all together because I picked them up. Well, there wasn't change. Oh, here we go. It was support. So again, I just heard from the universe, like, don't worry about it. You are being supported. You will continue to be supported. You will receive the support that you need. Interestingly enough, now when I think back to the other card, if you look at the Dreamweaver, she's laying in the arms of this Dreamweaver. This koala bear is very much laying in the arms of this woman, right? Now I'm hearing we have both feminine and masculine energy out here. And in both, we can see this support, right? This love, this sense of security, this sense of stability. You know, so much so I'm hearing. I mean, think about it again. That they are resting. They can rest. You know, now I just heard blessed assurance, right? Right. I mean, that's beautiful. I think that that's true signifier of abundance and of, you know, I don't know. I just heard true wealth, true abundance, true prosperity. I mean, look, I don't know. I just heard lilies in the valley, even though these are not lilies. These are butterflies and flowers. Now that looks like a portal. It's like, yeah, I just heard a whole new world, right? For many of you, you'll be entering into this whole new world where you'll feel for the very first time, right, that you'll be moving from this world that used to be filled with lackluster, I hear, now to one that is going to be filled with greenery, right? I just heard for some of you, you're moving from this concrete jungle. If for those of you who wish to, you know, who desire that, again, if that has been one of your dreams, you know, I'm hearing dreams do really come true, right? And when I clarified support, the card, I just want to make sure I get them right. That clarifies support, interestingly enough, was the Hierophant. Look how beautiful that is. I mean, this Hierophant is elated, I'm hearing, right? Pure bliss. I mean, I love the fact that we have this, it's almost, I feel like constellations, right? Very much pointing to, excuse me, let me clear my throat. I don't know where that's coming from, but Um, have mercy, babe. I hope you don't mind. If you yeah, I don't know. That laughter is almost like, I guess, if for some of you, if music is a form of ecstasy and laughter for you, yeah, it's like I just heard for some of you when that song used to come on, because it's an old school song for me, right? Anyway, that used to be the joint, right? That was the jam. Everybody like flocked to the dance floor on that one, right? So, yeah, that's how you, and that feeling you would get when that song came on and you was ready to go, jam or whatever. That's it. I don't know. That's the kind of feeling here. But Hierophant, right? It typically is signifying of tradition, of teachings, marriage, institutions, but clarifying this support. Yeah, I just heard ascended masters have been supporting you, right? Ancestors and spirit guides, right? I just heard I have friends on the other side. They have been supporting you. They have been teaching you. I just heard from the beginning of times, right? And there's been aligned time frames, right? I'm hearing the time is now. But because I see several, it's been like throughout your life, there has been pivotal points, pivotal activations, pivotal portals, right? Because we saw like I said, it looked like a portal to me when I saw that, right? It's like you can lay comfortably in this beautiful garden, I heard a bed of flowers, right? And rest. And enter this portal of support. And it has always been there for you, right? Throughout eternity, throughout time, throughout different constellations, points. I don't know why I'm hearing that, right? That's so beautiful. And then the third card after that came out was interesting. I just kept saying point, right? Turning point. Yeah, again, there's a shift I'm hearing. There's a turning point occurring, right? Call it the new season, fall coming in. Interestingly enough, I'm hearing in the Judaic, Jewish calendar, now in September, that would mean their new year, right? For some of you, I'm hearing birthdays, right? Your birthday signifying your new year, your new solar year, right? But there's definitely newness, change, right? When I pulled that first card, it was 14, 4 plus 1 being 5, right? With the dream weaver, right? It's, again, I'm hearing dreams do really come true. I'm hearing that song, that Disney song, When You Wish Upon a Star, right? That whole, theme just keeps reverberating throughout a lot of those Disney movies, particularly the older classic ones, right? I heard it very clearly in Cinderella this morning, right? Her song, her intention, again in the scene with the fairy godmother, and again in the scene at the end in the closing, I don't know what to say, captions, then credits. Yeah, interesting. But there's a turning point. I think it's so dope that her jacket is rainbow. Again, I'm hearing like a vibration. Feel the vibration. Come on, move it. Feel it. I don't know, that's interesting. A lot with music and sound. So move, a lot of movement, you know what I mean? I'm hearing physically move too, like the body. It will do you some good, releasing some of the tension. And I heard preparing you, aligning you for this turning point, right? And I'm hearing, right, like this rainbow. The pots of gold at the end of the rainbow. I just heard, I don't know why. But I'm also hearing like alignment of chakras, right? And now they're being all lit up, like because they've been aligned to a certain extent, right? Now they can be displayed, right? There's a turning point, right? A shift in your life. And what clarified that turning point, interestingly enough, more rainbow magic, right? Look, oh wow, at the end of the rainbow, this pot, right? Interesting. is, you know, 4 cups, she's usually not looking at it, refusing it, but that's the turning point. There's a shift occurring from that, right? No longer, you know, I don't know, I just heard believing when pigs could fly, right? Here she's almost like disappointed, like whatever, like she can't believe that this, you know, dreams really do come true. I know I can't sing, I'm sorry, I didn't mean, but I keep hearing it over and over in my head, you know, that part, that dreams really do come true, right? But there's a turning point on this. You know, I heard you better believe it because it's coming, baby. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. I just heard, right? Then after I pulled those 3 cards, you know, at the bottom of the deck, I saw this, respect. RESPECT. Oh, wow, another 14. 1 and 4 again, another 5, right? So change in the way maybe you see respect, the way you have received respect, the way you give respect, right? There is definitely a change, a shift happening, occurring. And it's very interesting, right? Because this is an older man, looks, you know, very, I don't know, I just heard set in his ways. But he's being very gentle with this bird. He is being very protective, you know. It's almost like I hear, like, you know how sometimes people may have a disdain for animals, or even if it's not a disdain, I don't know why I use that such a strong word, but where they're careless and may not have much care and concern for them. Yet here in this picture, I'm seeing that this person, and maybe in their older age, right? Maybe it took some maturity, some wisdom, right, to finally understand that this nature, the animals, the flowers, the earth are to be respected, right? If you want that type of respect, you also must indulge and put out, right, that kind of respect too. Interesting. And when I clarified RESPECT, find out what it means to me, I'm gonna be honest, okay, I'm hearing it was this one. The 9 of Pentacles came out, right? So 9 of Pentacles is independence, right? Usually, and I don't know why I'm hearing there's going to be a difference in that, right? So because it's not that it's bad to be independent. We want to be independent. We saw that beautiful independence shine through in that, you know, Queen of Pentacles when we pulled her up earlier, where she showed, you know what I'm saying, I did this, I was able to do this, you know, I feel good. I did, since I established this and built this foundation, I'm confident now that no one can come and take it away from me. This is something I co-created within me and divinity, right? We did this teamwork. So it's pretty much grounded and stable, and it's, you know, assured, mine. But there's this sense of respect for even this independence. Like, I don't know how, help me, Spirit, what are you trying to, maybe for some to respect, you know, or to see independence as a sign of respect for self and for, right, I just burped, yeah, that's confirmation, and for the world around us, right? Because when we're good, when we're able to adult and take care of our own responsibilities and handle BI, then that doesn't put the onus on somebody else. You know, if I'm independent and I act autonomous, then I'm not being codependent. Then I'm able to hopefully, you know, go into relationships. Sorry, I gotta be mindful of how I'm holding these cards. But going into relationships with an interdependent spirit, understanding that there's a role I play and there's a role that the other person plays. Not that it's transactional, but that there is this form of reciprocity, empathy, compassion, understanding, compromise, right? And that is respect, right? Or a form of respect, right? Interesting. That's beautiful. And then after that, I got the card change, which is interesting. 5 again. We've been, so now that's 5 fives. I was gonna say 3 5. So 555. I'm hearing, look that up as a potential angel number. But I don't know. I'm hearing it when it happens in threes, right? There's power behind you know, 3, and now I'm hearing a threefold cord cannot be easily broken. Now I'm seeing Caesar in the movie Planet of the Apes, where he takes the 3 sticks, and well, he takes the first one and he breaks it, and he says, but when he puts 3 of them together, he says, apes together strong, harder to break, right? So there's this something about, yeah, these 3s. So yeah, change definitely. Now I'm hearing change is gonna come by Otis. Yeah. Which is beautiful, right? I mean, and look at that card. That card is gorgeous. Like, I see the yin and the yang. I see balance. I see it's something about that. Yeah, it's like almost seeing the Wheel of Fortune in it too. You can see I don't know, it's so vibrant. Look at the hues, so passionate, so filled with creativity and passion and power, right? And it's interesting, right? Because it's cupped in these hands, and the hands are bringing them forward, right? Which very much, again, is talking to me about this spirit of receptivity. So for some of you who have been used to and accustomed in the past to always be give, to be the one to always give, there's this sense now that you're being, you know, a change is happening in that, where you're going to be able to be given to now, right? And that's not to say that you won't always give again, but there is now this shift in that. And maybe because we see the almost yin and yang, where it's saying the changes that is going to balance it out for you, right? Is going to allow you to know that it's both, right? It's an ebb and flow. I'm hearing now like the pendulum swinging evenly from one side, evenly then on the other side, right? There's this sense of reciprocity and balance, right? And equality, right? Now I'm seeing the scales being evenly, you know, balanced out. And when I clarified change, I got, look how beautiful this is. I mean, like, I can't make this up. This is so gorgeous. The card that clarified that change card was this 2 of Cups, right? Again, right? Because the 2 of Cups can be talking about unity and relationship, and it can be signifying relationship with another. But it also can be, the 2 of Cups can also be within ourselves, right? When we're balancing out our masculine and our feminine, right, energies, when we're understanding that we encompass and we hold both, right? And when we try to make sure that we align them both in very healthy ways, because we can have a healthy masculine and then a very unhealthy toxic feminine, right? Within ourselves. I'm not even talking about outside of ourselves. I'm just speaking within ourselves, right? So again, if you are used to being and operating in masculine energy and being on that drive all the time, and you're unable to receive and to feel dainty and pretty and queenly and royal, and, you know, and be able to be like that Queen of Pentacles. She was sitting there, hands folded, holding her pentacles in her hands, eyes closed, like the child in the dream weaver, or that person with the dream weaver, right? Sound asleep, like the lamb. Like, you know, a lamb, I mean, you got to think about that. A lamb is easily spooked and scared. Wolves are always trying to get it, right? Lions are always trying to get it. And that lamb was fast asleep. It felt safe, it's self-secure. So maybe for some of you, I'm hearing, if your nervous system was always in fight or flight or freeze mode, you know, just out of whack, is coming in a change where you're going to be able to look. They're going to be able to pour evenly into one another, right? Both cups, right? So it's moving out of that nervous system where you're just always thinking you gotta fight or flight or run somewhere or defend, right? To finally get peace of mind and relax and, you know, de-stress and, you know, And it's no coming at no one, right? Because usually our body is protecting ourselves, and we feel like we gotta fight is usually we're feeling defensive about something. We feel like we gotta run is usually we're fearful about something. So it's not that, we're crazy and we're making it up, but it could be PTSD related. It could be, past experiences that then trigger us to think that this new experience, is the same when it's not. So is this sense of change and learning and adapting and adjusting, right? To balancing these two cups out. And I'm also hearing like, don't sleep in relationships that you have as well, right? Where you both, and I heard, and the two shall become one, right? These hands are definitely clasped one another, right? They're holding one another. So there is this sense of unity. I just heard UNITY, but now I'm hearing Bob Marley is not unity, is unity, right? Unity, right? This sense of oneness, right? This consciousness that what I do affects you and what you do affects me, whether we think about it or not. We think that person down the street, like there's this woman walking right now. I'm like, I don't know her from a bag of paint, a can of paint, right? But it doesn't matter, And then you would think, well, then how would my actions impact her? They do. The universe knows how it does. It just does, right? Whether I'm throwing trash on the ground, whether, it's like a ripple effect. It reverberates. It's energy, right? And we have to be conscious of that, right? What are we putting out? What are we accepting in? What are we evolving around and involving and revolving ourselves in? You know what I mean? Hopefully that makes sense, right? But again, I can't get rid of now. First we saw the shirt with the rainbow colors, then we actually saw the rainbow with like that bowl at the end, and now we see this again. So there's this sense of life and vibrancy, and I'm just hearing now siete rayos. For those who know, right? Now I'm hearing kind of like indigo children. For those who know, right? There's this sense of like the 7 prime, I heard primordial or prime colors and their significance. For those who know, like, right? Look it up, research, right? But there's something surrounding that. And I just heard it's beautiful, Richard Parker, right? If you ever watched, oh God, what is that movie with Richard Parker, the tiger? Oh God, I couldn't believe I forgot it. If you look up Richard Parker, tiger, it'll definitely, they're saying you do it, Marilyn. I'm sorry. I don't want no smoke. I can do it. So this movie was interesting because the young man in the movie embraced Islam, Christianity, and I don't know if it was Hinduism. So again, if we're talking about unity or entity, bless Jah, I just heard. To all my Rastafarians, much love. 3 times I just heard. He saw no problem with the fusion or the belief in all 3, whereas to others it would seem strange. Life of pi being a mathematical number too, right? A mathematical equation, right? Interesting. There's something about that too. The number is a mathematical constant that is the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter, right? All I'm hearing is a mathematical constant, right? Kind of like this oneness. The helicopter is over. Motorcycle now. All these noises now, right? I don't know. But the key word for me that keeps popping out is constant, right? You know, it's interesting. I was reviewing some older videos of mine, and it was in 2018 that I found this video from 2018 where I was crying out to divinity and to my ancestors, but in a spirit of gratitude, thankful to divinity, because I felt at that moment, and what I said in the video, lots of police car actions, sirens, some type of an emergency. Oh yeah, many officers, motorcycles, sirens. I'm hoping everything is okay. Again, I'm hearing ring the alarm. I'll be damned if I see another chick on your arm. That's significant. A lot of sirens. There's a lot of, so for somebody, they feel like it's an emergency. Something is coming in urgently. And particularly to a relationship, there seems to be like this urgency, or like red alert. I just heard like to come rushing in. That, yeah. Because she keeps saying, I'll be damned if I see another chick on your arm, right? And that was a side note. But in the video, I literally was crying out, because my point was that the one thing, you know, when mother and father forsake you, when people forsake you, when employment and finances, when everything else leaves you shattered and tattered and broken and left for dead, the one thing that never has forsaken me, right, is this divinity, this belief in this higher power, my faith, this belief in divinity and this oneness and this consciousness that I know protects me, guides me, gives me wisdom, loves me unconditionally, right? And that, yeah, interestingly enough, full circle, brings this rest, brings this sense of security. I can slumber and be rocked out like that young person on the Dreamweaver's chest, or like that lamb, right? Because I know I'm in the master's or masterette's hands, right? Arms, safe in his arms, in her arms, right? That's so beautiful, right? This unity. And then to close out, because it's getting dark out here, interestingly enough, the last card I brought out that came out after change was grief, right? Is it upside down? Yes, I did have it upside down. Grief. And as you can see, if you look closely, this is an eye and those are teardrops. But it's like this grief is what watered this flower, right? This rose. Now I'm just saying, can I call you Rose? Can I call? 'Cause you're sweet as the flower in bloom. I know I can't sing, y'all, but that's so beautiful. Like, again, and it's going back full circle to Dumbo, to Cinderella, to sing all of these things that started out so catastrophic, so hurtful, right? So unfair. So, oh my God, because when I pulled out the clarifier justice, I can't make this shit up, right? That there will be justice for this grief. And that maybe even that is the justice, right? That in this grief, in these times where you thought you was going to die, where you felt everybody forsake, you know, you was forsook by everyone, right? Even if it was family and lovers and children and whoever, right? That it was in those times that and it was that grief, those tears, that watered this beautiful blossoming flower that you have become, right? And the beautiful thing about Cinderella that really stood out for me was that they made a point to mention that even though she grew up, right, in that household where that was initially her father's house, they moved in. Her father passed away. Then they took over the house and she became a servant in her own father's house. That's enough to be like irate, raging mad, right? Ready to cut everybody up in that mother, right? And definitely not to be their servant, right? She could have ran away. She could have done, you know, well, I don't know, you know, being women back then, you know, it would have probably been worse to be homeless out in the street somewhere. But I'm just saying, right? Even if by staying she could have turned very bitter and angry, and one of the things that they ensured of making a point was that through it all Cinderella remained kind and gentle and compassionate, right? And then I was reminded of the Avengers. And is it the Black Widow, the one that was Russian and grew up with that like terrible person who was training all the Russian little kids to be like monsters and killers, right? Weapons of destruction. And one of the things that the stepmom had asked her, she was like, how did you remain with such a pure heart? How is it that here you are, like an Avenger now, right? Trying to bring justice, interesting, and freedom for all when you have been through so much abuse and injustice, right? So there's this sense, I'm hearing kudos, I'm hearing fury, I'm hearing standing ovation because you have managed, despite all that you have been through, to remain kind and gentle and compassionate and empathic. And not only is that your justice, but the change that is coming, right? The turning point in this new ability to be able to be balanced within yourself and with your tribe that's coming in and others, to be able to balance out the fact that you can give but also are able to receive. This is your justice, right? You're getting, I just heard justice upon justice upon justice, right? And I don't think it's a coincidence. I really like the way the Light Seers Tarot does that, where it has like this reflection, because to me it's like justice for the light and the shadow, right? They both, right? Oh, y'all, love, thank you so much, right? It's again, now I'm hearing a very Jungian meaning Carl Jung perspective, where he felt that the way to being whole and healthy was to accept and integrate and embrace your shadow aspects, right? When we deny them, when we outcast them, when we repress them, that's when it becomes problematic. That's when we get sick, right? But no, it is understanding and acknowledging and declaring. I'm hearing almost like a clarion call. And it's interesting, I'm going back to Kim, love calls your name. When love calls, right? I'm talking about love, right? True love calls your name. A clarion call is to say, I love me. When you truly say you love yourself, you love all of you, right? The good, the bad, and the ugly, right? And is it really bad and is it really ugly then, right? Right? Who determines that? Right? And I'm being reminded, earlier I heard a short by Brene Brown. Yes, she's excellent on shame specifically, but she did this little short clip, or someone did a short, took a short clip, like a snippet of one of her talks. And in the talk she was saying, when you allow other people to define you and to validate you, and I'm like messing it up, but it was just like, don't do that. Don't allow that, because then you're okay for them, but then you're not okay for yourself. You have to be okay with yourself. You have to know who you are and be okay and understand and accept and be good with that. That way, no matter who you talk to, like, don't go out. She said, if you're going out seeking for others to invalidate you or to, put you down in some way, you're going to find it, because someone will always do that. So don't allow that. Only you can do that to yourself. Don't never give that power, away to anyone else. I'm kind of butchering that, but if you look up Brene Brown, she's just amazing. This white woman is just amazing in her the work that she does around shame and fear, and yeah, maybe other things, but for me she has been pivotal with those. So yeah, justice, true justice. I heard, and liberty and justice for all. Amen, Amen, and Ashe. So yeah, that's the message I believe Spirit wanted for us. And I'm going to close on that note. I'm satisfied with that. I think it's beautiful. As you can see, it's gotten dark out here, so I'm gonna get my little tail home. Interesting, my throat again. Feeling raspy. It's some of you, I'm hearing there's gonna be a change in that, in speaking and vocalizing more of how you feel and who you are and being more comfortable with that. Spirit is opening up some throat chakras. I'm hearing because we need you, right? The world needs you, right? We carry you. You didn't become bitter and angry. You remain kind and gentle and empathic, but it was for a reason, right? Not only for your own stability and security and love and sense of self, but is because now that you're able to, and that's where you're at, then now you can be able to exude that and to help others along this path and this journey as well. I want to take the time to thank divinity, my guides, my angels, my ancestors, my animal guides, right, for showing up and showing out. I truly pray that this resonated with you and that it was helpful for many on so many levels. I'm grateful for this opportunity. I feel honored and I look forward to our next encounter. And with that, Amen, Ashe, and Amen, beloved. Until next time.